Aid workers say they're overwhelmed as exodus from Rwanda has reached frightening and biblical proportions.
Conditions.
7 million people affected by famine.
It is fundamentally political.
Women and children while away the day by the
someone could already be too late.
Agency Gold, who has just returned
Teams
from
of
Somalia.
volunteers from Goal are to leave for Goma tomorrow.
Since its inception, Goal has responded to countless third world crises across the globe. Goal is active in over 15 countries and employs over 2,000 people working in the most extreme conditions. In 1998, Goal aid workers arrived in Honduras, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, in response to Hurricane Mitch, the strongest and deadliest hurricane ever observed.
Que perdí la casa. Cuando el huracán Mitch que yo los fuimos para la controlaría, mis hijas estaban dormidas y yo las desperté y las saqué para afuera. Y en todo el momento que las desperté yo, que lo salimos, vamos llegando al centro comunal cuando la casa ya estaba, que ya no se veía nada, que si yo me quedo más, lo morimos.
I left full-time journalism in 1992. I started Goal in 1977. A friend of mine, Tim Pat Coogan, the well-known historian and writer, who had in fact brought me into journalism in 1967, he all but ordered me to leave and said, you can do something worthwhile in the third world.
He was a very controversial writer, but gradually we became aware that he was running a third world agency from the corner of the sports desk.
At that stage, Goal had only sent out about 6 nurses overseas at all. So we were very maverick, I suppose, at the game at that stage. And we went with rucksacks and sleeping bags and, you know, I don't know if we were insured. didn't know if we knew where Ethiopia was on the map. We were really, you know, very idealistic and innocent. But off we went.
We are still only putting on the plasters wherever we go. So we're sort of the only group of people on the planet, apart from, say, missionaries, that actually go to the coalface and help the people.
Anduve en el basurero de casi 11 a 12 años. Mi vida ha sido muy dura. Ahí lo único que uno puede vender es cobre, aluminio, hierro. Puede encontrar lata. Ahora venden papeles. Y encontré el proyecto Goal que me ayudó a rehabilitarme.
I suppose the program, similar to other Goal programs, has gone through 3 phases. The first phase is when we arrived in 1998 in emergency response to Hurricane Mitch.
People have lost their houses, lost all of their assets. You know, an immediate response would be to clean up the environment around them, to provide non-food items and to give them shelter.
Con las capacitaciones ellos los tenían listos los albergues. Entonces, váyanse, ellos vinieron también a ayudarlos a salir, ¿va? Y animarlos que no fueran. Los fuimos, aquí no quedó nadie.
You save lives at the start. There's no point in showing up saying, oh, I'd like to go, but it's going to take me 2 or 3 months to get my act together. It's like, sorry, if an earthquake happens on a Saturday afternoon, you got to get on the plane on Saturday afternoons.
What you're trying to do in that phase is take the country back to where it was prior to the disaster. So, I mean, you'd look at the basic infrastructure that was damaged in the country and try and rehabilitate that to the standard it was before or a higher standard.
So investing in agricultural assets, looking at long-term structures for housing and economic and rural regeneration and development.
You're looking at the country as a whole and seeing why the country's not developing, what cycle of poverty is the country in.
So that we're working with them for them to regenerate and rehabilitate their own services, or indeed in some cases start them from scratch with them.
After Goal completed this school in a small community in Gracias a Dios, residents were able to build 7 more on their own due to Goal's extensive training. Apart from education, virtually all communities have identified water as their main priority. In response to that need, Goal has carried out water pump and well projects in some of Honduras' most remote areas. Always with the future of beneficiaries in mind, each water source is accompanied by extensive maintenance training.
I remember in the Ethiopian famine of '84 being in a place called Carakello, where we were losing hundreds of children every day from the famine. I remember noticing over on my left some commotion, a lot of people were gathered, and I went over and I found, even in a situation where these people hadn't eaten for weeks, there was a football match going on.
John's unique contribution is he gets all these players to contribute, to act as fundraisers.
You have to imagine the impact when John McEnroe and Mats Wilander came to Dublin and played tennis for Goal. People said, that's special. These are important people. These are intelligent people. These are people who care. And if they're backing Goal, then I think I should get involved as well.
On Christmas Day, all over Ireland, they have what they call the Gold Mile. People walk or run the mile and sponsor themselves, and buckets of money are collected that way.
Look, we don't want to waste money. We want that, as much of anybody's euro, a dollar or a pound to go to the person that needs it.
It's all about winning, and the only way we win is by helping somebody today. And probably that's the best thing about Goal. I often say to people, God forbid if I walked out the door and I got knocked down by a bus, I would die happy. I have a very loving wife, I have a lovely son, and I had the best job in the world.
Él ya va a sacar el 6º grado porque está en 5º, ya el otro año va a 6º. Al salir él del 6º, pues yo con la esperanza de que digo yo me le están ayudando en el proyecto y con lo poquito que yo hago, pues él va a seguir estudiando.
And education is the key. I'm not saying it's the only thing. I don't have the answer. I wish I did to the problem of the third world, and I could just turn that key and everyone will be okay. But certainly the Nelson Mandelas of this world would never have achieved anything like he achieved, but for the fact that he was an educated person. So the more education, the better.